Welcome back to Four Sisters, where we will give you tips on self care, self awareness, self confidence, and show you all the ways you can love yourself. So get ready to laugh, cuss, cry, and pray. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
How y'all doing?
You know, outside of this stuffiness inside of my brain and body, I am doing fantastic. I've been off for the last 48 hours.
Oh, that's nice.
Ain't touched my computer, but have a lot of work to do. But YOLO.
I feel you, man. Definitely have a lot of work to do too, but I can't complain. I'm doing pretty well.
All right. Well, I'm doing good. Just out here living
It's
life.
almost your birthday.
I know. I got 4 days left until my birthday, but it'll probably be over by the time. But
What?
I got 4 days left.
Oh, yeah. So by the time y'all hear this, y'all are probably going to be sending all the well wishes and birthday wishes to Cicely.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So this week, possibly, we're going to have like a fun episode. Well, fun and...
Possibly.
Possibly.
Right.
Because we have... Well, besides me, everybody's going to be in their 30s this year. And so... I thought it'd be fun to have that. Well, we thought it'd be fun to have that 30th episode. However, first, let's see what Danny got for us for Reed's Rants and Resolution. It's a surprise. Nobody knows.
This week in Rants, Reads, and Resolutions, I will be reading Khloe Kardashian.
Again?
Do you want another one?
Nope.
Right.
What she do now?
So, with this one, Khloe has broken up with her ex-boo, I guess, Tristan Thompson. And Khloe has been irking my last nerve because every couple of days she posts these subliminal / not so subliminal posts about love and how you gonna lose a man and find yourself and how you're going to have all the things in life if you just focus on yourself and, you know, it's just going to be me and my baby and that's all that matters. And if you weren't so pressed, Khloe, I believe every one of those posts. But you're super pressed and it's super annoying. Like, I don't even follow them, but it's still everywhere on social media and I still need to figure out how to block the word Kardashian. But, the issue for me is that if you're trying to show somebody that you're not worried about them or you're moving on or you're trying to live a great life, then why do we have to see you post these subliminal ass posts every other day about this man? Because we know it's him. It ain't nobody else. You just had a baby by him. You're in your 30s. Move forward with your life. And if you want to post something, send it to your friends. There's probably a great group chat that you're in. Matter of fact, that's my resolution. Send these posts to your friends. Because there's probably one of them that is very, very beneficial to somebody else in your group chat. But to everyone else in the world, it's super annoying. Good luck, Khloe.
I didn't even know she was doing it.
You know, maybe she using her little platform to help motivate other women who are dealing. You know,
first of all, she's narcissistic. It's all about her, and she looks like a sourpuss.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know. I'ma just put her. I try to give everybody a chance, and so listen. Maybe she was with him for a few years. They had
was with him for a year.
I don't know how long they were together, but she has a kid with him. Clearly, she really cared about him. Who are I to judge how she deals with her breakup?
But you get them how you lose them. You cannot be shocked that man cheated on you when that is how you got him.
This is true, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't still hurt.
We all thought it could change.
We know that they publicize everything that happens in their life, and so I don't know why anyone would think that this breakup would be any different. Honestly, I'm surprised she isn't posting more. I don't know. I don't even follow her. But I would be surprised if she didn't say anything about this whole situation.
The new season must not be getting a lot of clout.
The trailer just came out. The whole season is pretty much about
That situation.
And Kanye having church on Sundays with no pastor.
Yeah, DMX. DMX went in there and prayed the other day.
For people?
He been there several times now. Done prayed. Yeah. They saying it's a cult.
Listen, and I ain't gonna argue that it ain't.
My issue is that you're selling the church service clothes for like $200-$300.
Listen.
It's not a cult. It's just a profit.
I don't know what it is, but the music is hot. That's all I can say.
You cannot, but you can never deny his talent. Man. I mean, you can't deny his talent.
That new song he just released is trash.
Nah, that one is trash.
He released a song?
Yes.
That's how trash it is.
It is horrible.
Even Charlamagne and DJ Envy was like, yeah, let's wait for the full option to come out.
Oh.
Make sure it's mastered.
Yeah.
It
just sounded trash. And I normally like Kanye music. But that's what happens when you have a church Sunday on service on Sundays.
Oh.
Mm.
Welcome.
He's still on the sick and shut-in list, so.
Yeah.
He's gonna come out. So, okay. So transitioning on, we're just gonna have a fun conversation about turning 30, because I want to know what it feels like. I'm not there yet, guys.
First of all, I don't know what it feels like yet.
But even for me, only being 29, I know I have some situations where I think like, damn, I'm about to turn 30 and I haven't hit blah 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 blah. But then I have to step back and realize, like, well, shit, is that my goals? Or was it something society had placed on me that I think I should be hitting because of those things? So those are some of the things that we're going to kind of sort of discuss today and get some insight on. So, anybody want to throw a 30 topic out that have been heavy on their mind? It can be something simple, like a myth, or it can be something you heard about turning 30 or being in your 30s that you feel like it should be this checklist versus like you haven't checked it off, somebody else have checked it off, and like you're wondering like, so when is your day gonna come? So it can be simple stuff. For me, I thought that I was gonna be halfway retired by the time I turned 30, and I can't seem to get a hold of my debt. So I don't think I'm gonna be retired by next year. So that's one of the things that I don't feel like I have got a handle on, and that was one of my goals on my.
So you when I hit 30 years, you ain't gonna be out of that.
Listen, G.
No, so she's saying by her 30th birthday.
By my 30th birthday.
You won't be out. Oh, I won't be
out
retired by 30. Oh, I didn't get what you
Now, I might retire by then. I may not. Then,
So you were trying to retire by 30?
I was trying to be there. But when I look at my
ducks in a row.
All of them in a row and really have my life together. But it ain't panning out that way.
At 30.
At 30. Because this was this magic number.
Yeah.
That
30 come right after 20. I don't know what you were trying to do at 30.
But it was this magic number that people always said that you have your kids, you got your house, you got your this, and all these things. So it was supposed to be the marker for when 25 is when you turn up, 21 you turn up, 30 hit, we supposed to be settled and have it all together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it happening for me.
I don't see it happening in a week for me.
Well, let me explain something here. I'm about to be a smooth 37, and I'm out here still trying to find myself. So it is what it is. It's a myth.
I ain't never know that was a myth. Why told me that one?
I agree. I definitely, when I have historically thought about 30, it was like, okay, by the time I'm 30, like all of my troubles will be over. I will have figured it out. Everything's going to be good going into 30. Like everything is fine. And that's not really the case. And I don't really know why that was the expectation, where that came from. But now I realize that it's ridiculous. And I'm okay with that.
What are some of the myths y'all heard about turning 30? Y'all heard mine. I thought I was going to have all my ducks in a row. But what are some of the myths y'all heard about turning 30? Or that you're tired of hearing?
That you should have your kids and be a housewife.
A whole housewife?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just, a wife.
Yeah.
In a house.
Mm-hmm.
True.
And being a wife ain't all it's cracked up to be. That's hard work. Like, you really... I really be out here.
You were so swift with that when it caught me off guard.
Somebody posted on Facebook today, and I quickly commented. Somebody said something about your kids should be your number one priority, and I commented, and I was very serious. I might have put some laughing emojis, and I said depends on the day, because I really have to choose between me, my husband, or my kids on any given Sunday.
I think another thing too is that you should be well into like your career. You should be like in the ranks of things and doing all these things. And I don't know. Some people have switched careers. Some people don't even know what their career path is. And for me, I feel like I'm just getting started. And
that's the trend that you're seeing more now too, as well. Even down to the 70-year-old grandmas that's just graduating college because they just wanted to check that off their list at 70.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like these age requirements to hit these markers is just like ridiculous at this point.
Yeah.
But I think we carry them on because it's something to carry.
I guess mine was when I was thinking about this time last year, and I was like, oh gosh, I'm about to be 30. Like, I need to make sure that next year for my birthday that it's like an extravaganza. Like, it has to be a huge deal. Like, it was like I'm about to die or something. Like, I got to close it all out because I'm turning 30. And now that I'm getting closer to the day, I'm like, that was so freaking stupid. Like, I probably have several decades left in the world. So why was I putting so much pressure on turning 30? But, yeah,
that is true. Because that's what I did. When I turned 30, I was like, I want all my friends to get together and we're going to Miami. Like, this is going to be the biggest turn up ever. Like, this is going to be like the last hoorah before, like, I actually was grown.
Right. Like, you feel like you gotta close out your 20s because everything after this is like the retirement home, and it's like, no, it's not. Like, I probably am going to be more popping in my 30s than I ever have been before. Like,
yes, yeah.
So just childhood thoughts.
One thing I also thought was like this whole money chase, that money can buy like happiness. I did believe that myth for a really long time. Not all together, but like it was the reason I went to work for a long time. So I can get paid. Because I knew I wanted to do fun things. It wasn't to pay the bills. It was to do the fun things like go to Miami and stuff like that. But I'm learning to like appreciate small little things like the butterflies outside on the tree.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the simple stuff that I'm learning to appreciate and realizing like, oh, I can't celebrate the big stuff because I don't even know how to celebrate walking outside and being able to see.
Right.
With glasses on.
No, that's why we be on the same page. Because the other day, I've been having like all these reflection moments and stuff because, clearly I'm about to be 30 and old, right? Foolishness. But I was thinking the other day and I was like, you know what? I am probably like, the way I operate as far as my accomplishments, I'm super ungrateful because I can look at the trees and nature and just certain things, I've gotten better with gratitude, but then when it comes to looking at my accomplishments, I will minimize that. And so it was like, people have been telling me lately that they're proud of me, which is weird for me to just hear on a regular basis. But I was like, I'm not proud of myself like that. And I was like, but I've done a lot of stuff, and why am I not more proud of my accomplishments? And I think it's just because I get so caught up in what the bigger picture is that I don't take the time to really appreciate the moment of me doing some really great things. And I think I'm getting better at acknowledging my accomplishments, but I definitely don't give myself enough credit as I should. And as much as I spend time giving praise to other people, I've got to make sure that I bring that back to myself. So I said, if I don't do anything else when I'm 30, I want to make sure that I'm doing less striving and doing more appreciating.
As you're getting closer to 30, do you find it hard to? Well, I'm gonna answer the question too. Do you find it hard to balance that whole idea of party versus stay home because you don't want people to judge you because you think you're too old to be going out? Like,
y'all already know my theory. I say I'm too old for everything. Oh no.
I would agree. I definitely think that I catch myself saying I'm too old to do X, Y, and Z, or even like I'm going out tonight and it's like an 18 and up party, and I was like, I was talking to my cousin. I'm like, we about to be out here with these little ass kids. But it's like, so I don't know.
I think I try to be so reserved now in settings because I feel like I'm too old to be in the certain setting.
Mm-hmm.
I monitor myself, and I don't think I allow myself to have a good time like I used to if I was going to a club scene or something like that. Or I will keep myself from the club scene because I don't think I'll have a good time like I used to because it ain't the same.
Yeah.
And I don't even give myself that opportunity.
I always be asking well, who gonna be there, or what is the age? Because I just feel like I can't go if it's gonna be some teeny boppers.
First of all, that ain't a 30 thing. That's a me thing. I'm the friend. Who else is coming?
As a single person, what are some of the things that you've heard going into your 30s or being in your 30s about that situation?
I think there is the expectation that you're going to be married and you're going to have kids and, really, I think on the career front, I'm fine. But there's the expectation that you're going to be married and you're going to have kids, which clearly I am ex-nay on both of those. But I will say, I think the people that are in my life right now don't put that kind of pressure on me. So nobody's pressuring me to do those things.
Do you feel like you put more pressure on yourself to do those things?
I think coming up to 30, the past few years, it has been more so I'm racing against the clock. But I think the closer I get to 30 now, I'm chill. It's just I'm excited about the fact that I'm about to be 30 and the fact that it's not what I have made it to be up until this point.
When did you realize that clock don't exist? What age did anybody realize that the clock didn't exist? What clock? The racing against time, Sasha said, racing against time, and the clock is ticking for you to hit certain milestones. Did anybody have that great awakening at a certain age where it's or did you still always feel like you was chasing the time, or you still feel like you're chasing the time?
To be honest, for me, I feel like I'm still, because y'all know me, I would get up nah, I'm too old to be doing all of this. Because sometimes I really do feel Lord, I'm really, and maybe because I'm in the upper end of the 30s, and I'm I'm in the upper room, child, and I just, I get dang, like I haven't done this, and this, and so I don't think I've quite connected that it's really 9 o'clock and I still can do whatever I want to at whenever I want to. And lately I've been posting things on the page about like time because I have to remind myself like it's okay if I haven't done this by this date because it's not the end of the world. So.
I mean, I'll say the only thing in this situation that I guess applies to me for right now that I would say going into my 30s is like a problem. No, I'm not going into my 30s. I'm already in my 30s. But, I mean, I think going from 29 to 30 is like a high. Like when I went from 29 to 30, I think I was more of like, oh, like I have high hopes. And then when I got into my 30s, I think it's a little bit different from Sasha's view because you're in your 30s now. So it's not looking as like bright and brand new as it was when you were 29. So I think a lot of things I've adapted to, like the expectations of like what I wanted in life. I kind of gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, I don't lead my life. I don't control what will happen in my life. So I've been kind of allowing that to happen. But I will say that the one thing that I've stressed going into my 30s was like the idea of like being in a relationship because I was in a relationship and then like having kids because I did want to have kids. So those things were like my ooh. But I think the more I've been in my 30s, I'm just kind of like, those were my expectations of my life versus like what my reality is.
Any suggestions, any thoughts that you want to give to the people who may be turning 30 in their 30s that may be fighting with these same ideologies in their brain and irrational thoughts?
I mean, I tell people in my office all the time that like you have so much life in front of you and don't feel like the thing most of the time when people are talking about their goals are big. It's not like somebody's like, oh yeah, I'm really just trying to go to the grocery store. Like no, that's nobody's thing that they're saying. You're saying that you wanna start a business or you want to build an empire or you want to have a whole family. Like those are things that take time, and if you're expecting those things, something that's going to take time to happen right now, is that even realistic? And thinking about the amount of years that you have in front of you based off of just average life expectancy, do you have enough time to accomplish that? And if the answer is yes, let's shift our focus to using the time that we have to start outlining what that looks like for you versus worrying about the fact that it hasn't happened right now. And then we get cracking on that action.
Cracking.
I think one of the things, and this is for myself, and like I said, I think I might even post it today actually, but I think a lot of times it's me comparing myself to somebody else my age or even not even my age, and it's fine to look at somebody else for an example, but you can't compare your situation and their situation and try to be like, oh my God, like I'm not doing what they're doing because you don't know what their story is, their journey, and you have to follow your own journey. You have to do the things that you need to do for yourself. So if it takes more time, then it takes more time, and you shouldn't be like down on yourself because you didn't do this thing at this mile marker or at this age. And I think a lot of times for myself, I look at things and I'm like, dang man, they got a house, they doing this, they out here taking vacations, and I'm out here like, Lord, I don't know how I'm gonna pay my bill tomorrow. But but that's not my life, and I have to do what I need to do. And when I focus on myself and focus on the things that I think we were talking about earlier about gratitude, when you focus on the things that you have accomplished, it seems to make things a little bit better. So you just got to do things in your time and be okay with that.
Another thing that would be not 30 yet, as I said, but I'm close enough. But it's that whole idea of quality over quantity. I'm seeing for a long time, like in my my early 20s, I used to focus on like loss a lot, like friends I would lose, like relationships that would end and stuff like that. But now I'm starting to, like you said, appreciate, have more gratitude towards like the quality people that are in my life, and I'm still learning how to like add time in to like fit everybody in, even though it ain't a lot, but it's still hard to like be like, oh my God, y'all are really here for me. And because I'm used to being in big crowds and big circles and stuff like that, and half of those people were just there for the thrill, for the opportunities and stuff like that. And so being around people now that I'm getting older, people who are genuinely there for me, and they wouldn't care what I had in that moment. If I needed them, they would show up, versus like what's in it for them. There's a lot of the toxic people that I'm releasing now as I'm getting older, which is pretty cool because they're just releasing themselves. Like I'm not even doing anything. It's just me growing and just understanding how to direct my time. Like I don't have to spend the energy cussing you out, fussing you out. I'm just letting you just flop by the wayside.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the advice that I have to anybody in their 30s is that everybody has a struggle. It's just some people struggle look better than others, but it's still a struggle. So like some people have a house, but they may not have something else, or some people have perfect job, but they may not have something else, or some people et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think that just being mindful that everyone is not living, no one is living a perfect life. So setting yourself up with the expectation that people who are on Instagram or Facebook who only present their perfect lives, that is not reality. So just being mindful that everybody's reality, like their real life, does not look as perfect as it seems on the outside. And we're all in a level of a struggle.
Another thing that I've been doing lately has been kind of staying back a little bit from social media, or really paying attention to my emotions whenever I'm on social media, when I see certain stuff. Because let's take rants, reason, resolutions, for example. So let's say I'm scrolling down social media and I see Chloe's post and I find myself getting annoyed. Then I've been trying to stop and figure out, like, all right, let me get off the internet, because clearly I'm like in my feelings about something, and figuring out what it is about that situation that is making me feel some type of way. Like, am I feeling some type of way because I'm not running my race? Am I feeling some type of way because I'm insecure in some way about something? Like, what is causing me to feel the way that I'm feeling about this? And then figuring out some kind of way to make that shift and change for myself, because I do know that whenever big things come up, I can be fine and in a good headspace, but when big stuff comes up, that's the time where I'll just like have all this negative stuff. I should be doing this. I'm not like this person, that person. And so I've had to stop and make the changes that I need to make in order to keep me in a good headspace about all of this kind of stuff, because comparing ourselves is like a survival instinct. That's us trying to be safe. Like, okay, it's like caveman stuff. Like, okay, if their bonfire is bigger than my bonfire, we might starve over here. And so even though we're not that primitive anymore, we still do that. And although I understand that's something that is primitive and is for our survival, I've realized that I can't function like that. And so I need to make the changes that are necessary in order for me to like be able to function and still work towards whatever it is.
That's like as I'm doing a lot of like studying and then looking at the recent Netflix video for Brene Brown. She was talking about the difference between belonging and fitting in.
Mm-hmm.
And fitting in is all about that assimilating and like just trying to make sure you hit the markers so you don't be left out in certain crowds and certain opportunities. And belonging is just understanding yourself first and being okay with the spaces that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's a big marker as well, is to like really be okay with who you are and finding the spaces where you actually belong, because you don't belong in all of them. Just because you're fitting in. That was big. On a lighter note, one thing I've realized as age is getting me is that when my grandma used to wake me up at 6 a.m. with the roosters, I'm finding myself on a Saturday morning now not being able to sleep in. And it's getting very irritating to me because I don't understand
That's just
why
hitting you
my body is wanting to wake. I used to can sleep in really late, and now all of a sudden, as life is hitting me, my kids still be asleep. It ain't my children. It ain't being a mama. I think it's my body actually waking up before 6:15 every morning. Work day, fine, because I'm going to work. On a regular Saturday morning, I didn't want to get up and wash clothes at 6:30. But I find that if I lay there, I will be more tired later.
Yeah.
So, the whole idea of wanting to sleep in, I think the older I get, the more I'm realizing that it's just not a thing. It's just not a thing. No matter what time I lay down, it's just not a thing. So, get prepared for that shit. Like I said, I ain't hit 30 yet, but I don't see it getting better. I don't see me sleeping in.
Another thing that I've been noticing is like, I've always had aches and pains because I have like a whole knee injury or whatever. But the aches and pains are coming, but I found that I've been like, all right, I'm about to be 30. So like, for real, if I'm ever going to get it together when it comes to like my physical health, like this is the time. I can't keep saying next year I'm going to do it. So I'm trying.
I really thought that statement was going somewhere else. I thought you was about to say you knew when the weather was going to change.
Oh, I do.
Because your bones.
I know when it's going to rain. I know exactly when it's going to rain.
Just know, guys, that your metabolism is going to slow down.
And that slowed down. What are you talking about? That slowed down for me when I hit college. I didn't make. What do you mean?
Well, I sleep well on the weekends.
What day?
I've been 30 for a while now.
So
you work a lot of jobs, so.
I go to sleep.
I go to sleep. I just wake up.
But that's a selective issue. That ain't because you're 30. You ain't even 30, so it don't make sense.
That's why I said the older I get, I acknowledge that I wasn't 30 yet. Then I'm realizing that.
You're making it sound so horrible.
But
I sleep in. I plan to sleep in tomorrow. Planning to sleep in tomorrow all week. That's just you.
Do you do something different?
I sleep. I don't know. I just roll over.
You got curtains?
Yeah. I have some blackout shades.
Now I need to get the blackout curtains. Maybe that's what I need to do. Because when I was in college, I used to staple a blanket over my window.
You may not be the type of person that just can't sleep in, but I ain't had that issue.
That ain't fair because I used to could. And now that my kids don't want to wake up, that's real rude because I pray for the day.
But then you also have to be mindful you have 2 young kids, so you probably spent a lot more time waking up with them when they weren't sleeping through the night, which got your body to a point where it's out of whack.
That's true.
I ain't woke up with no kids, so I'm good. I just roll over.
That might be true. But what's Sasha?
I was gonna say I still wake up. I don't know. I'm just used to it.
I thought she said her bones ache.
My bones do not ache in the morning. I just am a person like if the sun is out, more than likely like I'm up. Now granted, sometimes I can roll back over and go to sleep, or sleeping in for me is like 9 o'clock. Like if I sleep past 8:30 or 9 o'clock, like I slept in. Like I really indulged in sleep.
That's me. I'll get up early too. My body wakes up at 6 o'clock every morning, and I just be laying there. Everybody else snoring. It's just like I hate y'all. Like
I sleep until about 10 or 11 on Saturday. But I work like 14, 15-hour days.
No, really, you do.
Oh, yeah.
You're a hard worker. I'm inspired to be like you.
I don't.
I'm myself and I don't. But,
well, you can get into the paper.
That's true.
I
I want the money, but I ain't trying to work that many hours.
I'm gonna ask y'all a weird question. Is it because this is what people say? It's like when you used to get carded when you was like I'm already 21, but and versus like when you're in your 30s, people take it as like a flattering situation.
I don't get carded.
Like so.
I guess I'm not.
Listen, I got mad the other day.
Real men for that.
I got mad the other day because I was at the Bojangles line, and the man was like, "Here you go, ma'am." And I was like, "Ma'am," like, but then he was like a teen, but still, I was like, "I don't want to be a ma'am."
But I know everybody yes sir or no ma'am. I think that's just like a southern thing.
Me too. I felt some type of way about that thing.
Nah, I feel you, Cicely. I be feeling some type of way when people call me ma'am too. I be like, you know, I don't look like no ma'am. You know, damn well.
I got to get this hair dye together, cause woo.
Now I gotta be sitting here wondering if I should call these people ma'ams and sirs or not.
You better not call me no ma'am.
Oh my god!
I just do it to everybody.
Me too.
You could be my age.
I just don't know who you are.
Yeah, that's like a title. For
Unless
everybody.
I'm saying yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No, outside of that, don't you, ma'am
I
me.
do it to other people, but it just caught me off guard because I think
It's
that day
different
I
when
thought
it's
I
you.
was cute too. And like, here you go, man. I was like,
You hit him with the thank you, sir.
right.
What? Oh. I'm scared to say my thing because Danny gonna be like, you ain't 30. What's that I realized as I'm getting older? Is that when I was in college, like I used to put a lot of emphasis around the latest fashion trends. And now that I'm getting older, I think I'd rather spend that money like on an experience or like a beach trip or something like that instead of like a $300 or $400 outfit. Like my whole $300 or $400 will take me through a whole season. You know,
Maybe two.
you're right, actually.
You thrifting.
Oh God. Be able to get one you can throw a cardigan over and then you take the cardigan out in the springtime.
Yeah. That's how I've been living my life for years. Put a little stocking on.
But I used to want to like be in the latest and have the latest. And now it don't matter no more.
I'll say in my 30s, I've bought more stuff recently that, like, I did the thrifting thing, and I still do the thrifting thing, but I will definitely say that, like, having to beg my parents to buy me, like, those, well, at the time, they were, like, $120, $140 shoes, and it had to still go, like, half, because they were like, you got a job, so we'll go half with you, but now in my 30s, I'm like, well, I can buy it because it's my money. And I can buy it if I want to. And I think for the longest time, I functioned in the idea that, like, you shouldn't buy it because you're grown. But now I'm like, I'm going to buy it because I'm grown. I ain't got nobody to answer to. Like, I bought a pair of shoes the other day that were like $200. And I was like, Now I have buyer's remorse after I bought them. But I wore them.
I mean,
that's just like you deserve.
You do. You
working
working.
the splurge.
You out here working factory hours.
Okay. I think it's interesting that I have become a little bit more like my mom or like my grandparents. Because one of my clients asked me the other day, we were doing the ungame, but she had a blank card. She was like, "Oh, so what's your favorite brand of shoes?" I said, "Girl, anything that look pretty. I don't got no brand." She was looking at me like, and I was like, "Listen, it is what it is, whatever cheap." But I be in the store trying to buy curtains and whatnot. I don't know if that's, I don't know if you do that. If it's just me, or that's what happens when you getting older. But I'm like, ooh, this towel set. No. That's what I remember that. Give me a new bathroom rug.
Well, I ain't at that point of 30.
I told you I'm in the upper room.
But I don't know if it has to do with 30 or if your stuff, like if your style just changed. Because I think I'm cheap. But then when I decide that I want to splurge, like I splurge. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to go buy me a shirt. I'm going to go buy 6 shirts. But then sometimes I'm not splurging on clothes. Like I might splurge on some candles, or I might splurge on like some house stuff or something like that. So it just depends on what mood I'm in. But the Taurus in me is going to make sure that whatever I get is like cute.
Y'all are so very well versed on y'all signs. I'm gonna do better this year. I know nothing about mine. I can tell y'all I'm an Aquarius. I don't know nothing about Aquarius. But y'all be so like, it's the Taurus in me. It's the, and I'll be like. Well, my last one is that the older I get, that I'm realizing that home is where it's at. I don't really like to go out no more. Like I recharge home. There was a time where you couldn't pay me to stay home. I don't care if I wanted to go to Walmart at 12 o'clock at night. It was just because I didn't want to stay home. And I had been home too long. Now I'm like, I ain't been home all day. Like, when is this going to end? Like, I need to go home. It don't really be nothing at home, but it'll just be peace, quiet. I know what to expect. I'm tired of reading people. And I'm learning that too. I don't like people as much as I thought I did. Not for a long time.
I think the older I get, the more I value like my close relationships. Like it ain't like, I'm not saying that I don't want to make any. I'm not Drake, no new friends, but I really care about the people that are already my friends. And if I meet somebody else, it's like, oh, that's cool. But like I put all of my eggs in the baskets that I have already nested.
I think for me, I'm starting to realize when I need to have me time. I think the past 2 weeks, I'm like, oh my God, I need a vacation. I need to be by myself. I need to do that. But I'm starting to realize that a little bit more. And not only realizing it, but trying to find where I can take that time for myself. Whereas I don't think I did that previously. So I think I'm starting to slow down so that I can really give myself good self-care. And that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Any last words before we end the segment, guys?
Nah.
Be great in your 30s. Still time. That's all I would say. Any words to take us out on, Miss Cece?
I posted not too long ago. Because like I said, this has been on my mind a little bit more than usual. But maybe last week, I think I posted something in regards to like, people were saying like getting your first degree after 21 is still an achievement. Being married after 30 is still beautiful. Starting a family after 35 is still possible. And buying a house after 40 is still a boss move. So don't let people rush you with their timelines. Mm-hmm. And I just think that is so true. I think when you're starting to arrive at 30 or you're in your 30s and it's still a rush to like get somewhere because you don't feel like you made the timeline. But like I said, it's really a blessing no matter when you do it. If you are able to do it and you accomplish it at 73, then you accomplish it at 73, and that's beautiful. So I think I've just encouraged people to do what you do, live your own journey, live your own life, create your own lanes, and just be happy with the things that you're accomplishing, no matter what the age.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Well, thank you guys for joining us for another episode. Don't forget to like, share, follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud,
Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Spotify.
We're everywhere at this point. Check us out. And we'll holler at you guys for the next episode. Bye.
Bye.